In 2007, Ford came out with the Shelby GT500. A lot of people might think that all these cars were made by Shelby, but they were actually made by Ford. There were a couple exceptions with the GT500s and some other Shelby products, and one of them I want to talk about today is the Shelby GT, and we'll get to that in a second here. But you could take your GT500, send it to Shelby. They would do a lot of modifications. As you can see, this is a Super Snake, and it has the different hood, the different stripes, different wheels, a whole bunch of different things, even power upgrades. But there is a misconception that all the GT500s were made by Shelby when they really weren't. They were made by Ford. Ford made an arrangement and copyright and the name and everything to use on the new Mustangs instead of the SVT Cobra. They were calling them Shelby Mustangs from now on. So this Super Snake started out as a GT500 and it was sent to Shelby and modified to become a Super Snake. And I believe it even received a Shelby number. But the car I want to talk about today that I thought was really cool, that I have some pictures of that I wanted to share, they've been on my computer for a long time, are the Shelby GT cars. And so this is a Mustang GT that was actually sent to Shelby. These were based off the California Special cars as far as I know. This is a California Special GT. See the back bumper with the valence? And it also has the hood scoop, the front bumper, the wheels. It looks very similar. See these California Special cars, they have a GTCS stripe down the side, but the Shelby GT, which is this car, was basically a California Special that was sent to Shelby, had a few modifications. I believe they were lowered. I think they had some interior things done, the stripes obviously, the grille. I think it's kind of cool, like the Bullet Mustangs, they didn't have a rear spoiler, so that kind of gave them a special look. But really cool cars, and these are very undervalued in my opinion. A lot of people don't really know what these are. Obviously they are not a GT500, they're not supercharged, they have the 3-valve 4.6 liter engine, and so a lot of Shelby people kind of look down at these as entry-level Shelby cars. But on the flip side, I think that's actually pretty cool because you could get into the Shelby collectible thing and have a Shelby for a lower price. Now, the one thing that does stand out about these cars that the GT500s didn't have was these actually received a Shelby CSM number when they went to Shelby and were converted. And so these center dash plaques, they're in the middle of the dashboard between the two main vents, and they're pretty cool to have. And you know, the other GT500s came with them and they would have just the VIN number. They didn't have a CSM number, and I have a few dash plaques here to look at just for fun. You can go to the Shelby website and buy some of these actually. I think they're about $140, but like here is a Shelby GT500, no CSM number, just the VIN number. And then you have the Super Snake that actually has the CSM number. You have the Shelby GT Hertz edition, that's GTH. The Hertz was a really cool special that they did. It's a throwback to when Shelby had a deal in the 60s to rent to Hertz. Rent a car. You could go rent a racer, and if you watch, there's some pretty cool finds where people are finding these old 60s Hertz cars that were rent a racer cars, and only a handful of them were stick shifts. Most of them were automatics, and they were mostly black with gold stripes like this one here. There were some other colors, and they're pretty cool to see. So you have this, option of Shelby Rent-A-Racer cars, and they're actually coming out with it again. I believe they're with the GT500s, and they're black with gold and, stuff like that. But this one that I'm talking about here is actually like a Shelby GT. And so it's a GT-H for Hertz. It's pretty cool. I actually saw one here in town. I have a friend who has one here in town. I believe his is a convertible. But anyway, just kind of cool history, but that's just onto the dash plaque. So here is a Shelby GT dash plaque with the CSM number on it. And they have some other cool ones with CSM numbers, a 40th anniversary GT500, and of course the Shelby GT500 KR with the CSM number. But anyway, these are the pictures I really wanted to get to. That is a little bit of a watered down history real quick just to throw into what we're getting at here. But these are the pictures that my brother actually took most of these pictures. And then there were a couple people who added some of these online, and so I just wanted to compile them. They're so easy to get lost. These pictures will pop up on a Facebook thing and then they'll be gone, and then it's hard to find them again. So those look like some Super Snakes or KRs that are getting ready to be made. Not a very good picture, but this is so cool because you would go down to Vegas, and as you passed where the Las Vegas Motor Speedway was, Shelby used to be located over there, and those buildings with the white with the blue stripe on top, those buildings are still there, and they've always been used for all sorts of motorsports. There's been dyno tuners there, there have been side-by-side builders, there have been, you know, all sorts of cool things, and Shelby used to be right there, right by the racetrack. So I used to love going there when it was located right there. And so, like, here's a picture of somebody else's Blue Mach one, just like the one I have, but this one was an automatic, and it had Washington plates on it, but it was cool to see it there. But this is the Shelby Museum. This is where it used to be, and where they used to modify the cars. So it's pretty cool to go there and have these pictures, and they had a wall inside for visitors to sign, and everybody would sign that. And they always had really cool stuff, as they do now, in the showroom. And you know, I heard some cool stories about these Shelby GT500s and GT350s, and of course the original Shelby was there. But as you went down the freeway and past the raceway in Shelby, you would see rows and rows of these Shelby GTs being made. And so I thought that was really cool. They're all lined up in different stages of getting the stripes and doing things. And so I just wanted to share these pictures, go through them for a minute, kind of zoom in a little bit so you could see it, because this was quite a sight to see. So here you can see the overall picture, and then going through you can just see rows and rows, and some of them I noticed don't even have the grills in them. They did remove the GT grill. It's just cool to see them in all these different stages and so many rows of them. These belong to people today, or maybe they're wrecked and gone, but it's cool to think that if you own one of these cars, that this could have been your car. One of those could be. And here's some numbers on the windshield. That's pretty cool, you know, history. They did get rained on. They added the hood pins and stuff. Still has the shipping plastic on them, and that's pretty cool. There's the Shelby stripes and the Powered by Ford badges on the sides, and there's a ton of them there that are still missing the pieces and just being made. But just kind of cool to look through these row by row, because at a glance you just look at it as a bunch of cars, but when you're actually looking through and seeing them, there's a better picture of the grill missing, and you know, cool stages of doing it. Now, my brother had said that he talked to one of the kids that was washing them out there, and he just didn't want to be there. He didn't care, and he thought, how can you be around so many of these Mustangs and not be excited? And the kid was like, it's just a job. They only pay me $8 an hour or whatever it was back then. But if you look, here's one of the Hertz cars right there in the left of the screen, zoomed in here. The hood's different, you can see, so black with gold, pretty cool. And so some of these pictures were taken at different times, and I don't know whether these were different years apart from the pictures that some were my brother's. There's some GT500s there that were probably being converted to Super Snakes, so pretty cool to see those in the lineup. Some convertibles there, and the gray one there, another red convertible over there, and but this was all somewhere between '07 to '09, I presume. They might have been starting this in '06 when the, you know, the earlier models for '07 were coming out, because obviously they had to do all this work before they could sell them. But anyway, just cool to see. Here's all the orange ones. That's really cool. I like that color. I think it's really neat on that generation Shelby. I saw a GT500 in this color just the other day go through town. So, but pretty cool to see all this, and just go through a little bit and zoom in, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. You could look at each of these pictures and spend a lot of time studying them and seeing different things. But anyway, there's the overall pictures, and I have here a picture of a white Shelby GT that was in town, and I pulled up next to this guy and started talking to him for a minute. I let him know that I knew what the car was, and this was years ago. I had this picture saved on my computer as well. So pretty cool guy, and I think he was really excited that I knew what the car was. But I've seen a handful of these in town. I remember seeing a blue one, a couple black Hertz ones, and a couple black with silver stripe GT ones. And so anyway, just wanted to share that with everybody. Hope you had a good time watching this video. And you know, I'm not a Shelby enthusiast. There are people who know a lot more than I do on these cars, and there is so much history with Shelby. There are so many different packages, so many different stripes, so many different options, so many different trim levels. So obviously you can spend hours and hours making videos about these specific cars, but I just wanted to share all these pictures that I had accumulated, and like I said, they'd probably just get lost in time, and so If it's here on YouTube, you can watch it and you can share it, and if you own one of these cars, you can look back and see it. I would have loved to see pictures like this of the Cobras that I have, like the 03, 04 Cobras that I own, the Bullet I own, the Mach 1s that I own. So it's just pretty cool to see all this. I know somebody will appreciate that I had put this video together, and I just wanted to share these pictures. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Mustang content.